Well, here we are for Leviticus chapter 8. Moving on with our discussions here on the things we can learn about the gospel of Jesus Christ from the book of Leviticus and the rest of the Old Testament too. So in this chapter, we're going a little bit away from the laws, explaining the laws, and we're getting to a little bit more about the stories. So stories are starting to come back into this. In this chapter, Aaron and his sons are washed, anointed, and clothed in their priesthood robes and consecrated before all Israel. Moses and Aaron offer sacrifices to make reconciliation and atonement with the Lord. Excuse me. So there's some good things to learn here. Now, verse 1, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and a bullock for the sin offering, and 2 rams, and a basket of unleavened bread. And gather thou all the congregation together unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the assembly was gathered together unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Moses said unto the congregation, This is the thing which the Lord commanded to be done. And Moses brought Aaron and his sons, and washed them with water. And he put upon him the coat, and girded him with the girdle, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod upon him, and he girded him with the curious girdle of the ephod, and bound it unto him therewith. And he put the breastplate upon him. Also he put in the breastplate the Urim and Thummim. If you want to learn more about that, Bible dictionary, it's in there. And he put the mitre upon his head, and also upon the mitre, even upon his forefront, did he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as the Lord commanded Moses. And Moses took the anointing oil, and anointed the tabernacle, and all that was therein, and sanctified them. And he sprinkled thereof upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all his vessels, both the laver and his foot, to sanctify them. And he poured of the anointing oil upon Aaron's head, and anointed him to sanctify him. And so I'm going to pause just right there for a second. So what's being described, excuse me, I have some junk in my throat, sorry. What's being described is that Moses is consecrating everything. So the tabernacle's built, everything's in place, all the artifacts and everything are built and put together. Moses, in front of everybody there, is consecrating it all and preparing Aaron for his role in the priesthood. Okay, you can look at section 84, the Doctrine and Covenants, to learn more about the priesthood. There's a lot in there, a lot of references between this chapter and section 84 of the Doctrine and Covenants. A lot of good things that go back and forth upon between those two. So Aaron is clothed in the robes of the holy priesthood. He's dressed to be the high priest or the officiator, basically, of everything. He's ready to go. So now let's continue on with our understanding here. Now Moses brought Aaron's sons, and put coats upon them, and girded them with girdles, and put bonnets upon them, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then he brought the bullock for the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock for the sin offering. So remember, that is part of that cleansing, is they're putting their hands on the bullock to transfer their sins to the bullock, which will then be sacrificed for their sins, basically. That's the atonement for their sins. Verse 15, and he slew it. And Moses took the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it, to make reconciliation upon it. Now, if this chapter, just so you know, if this chapter doesn't make a lot of sense or sounds really weird, go watch the previous chapters, okay? Starting in Exodus, when they build the temple, they get all the information together for that, what the priests' robes look like, what does the sin offering mean, how do they do it? All of this has been explained. We have the rules and guidelines. So all of that we've talked about previously should help you to be able to understand and see this chapter and some of the subsequent chapters that are coming up. So verse 16, excuse me, and he took all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and Moses burned it upon the altar. But the bullock and his hide, his flesh and his dung, he burnt with fire without the camp as the Lord commanded Moses. Remember the trespass offerings and those things as well. This should all start to make sense. And let's see, verse 18, and he brought the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram. And he killed it, and Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he cut the ram into pieces, and Moses burnt the head and the pieces and the fat. And he washed the inwards and the legs in water, and Moses burnt the whole ram upon the altar, and it was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet savor, and an offering made by fire unto the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. So again, this is now putting in practice everything that we've just spent the last several chapters discussing and learning more about. Moses is showing them how to do these things. Verse 22, he brought the other ram, the ram of consecration, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram. And he slew it, and Moses took of the blood of it and put it upon the tip of Aaron's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. Then he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put of the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumbs of their right hands, and upon the great toes of their right feet. And Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat and the rump, and all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys and their fat in the right shoulder. And out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, and a cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and he put them on the fat and upon the right shoulder. And he put all upon Aaron's hands and upon his sons' hands, and waved them for a wave offering before the Lord. So now we have a wave offering coming in where they elevate things up and move it around. Verse 28, and Moses took them from off their hands and burnt them on the altar upon the burnt offering, and they were consecrations for a sweet savor. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And verse 29, Moses took the breast and waved it for a wave offering before the Lord. For of the ram of consecration it was Moses' part, as the Lord commanded Moses. Remember, Moses is the priest that is officiating in the ordinance of this sacrifice, and so he gets part of that meat. Verse 30, Moses took of the anointing oil and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. So now they are sanctified, ready to be holy, to be set apart for something special, basically is what's going on, so that they can then officiate and be clean and able to do the things they need to in the temple. Verse 31, and Moses said unto Aaron and to his sons, boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and there eat it with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. And that which remaineth of the flesh and of the bread shall ye burn with fire. And ye shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation in 7 days, until the days of your consecration be at an end. For 7 days shall he consecrate you. So in a way, you could think of this as basically, this is kind of their shift in the temple. They're going to be there for a week, basically, when they perform these ordinances and do these things. So verse 34, as he hath done this day, so the Lord hath commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. Therefore shall ye abide at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation day and night 7 days, and keep the charge of the Lord, that ye die not. For so I am commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all things which the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses. So this is Moses putting it all into practice. He's had the revelations given to him. They've written it down. They've probably taught it to the people to know what to do when and how to make this work out. Now they're putting it into practice. So we get to start to see how they do this and some of the challenges that arise as this gets put into regular practice for the children of Israel. So stay tuned for the next chapter to learn more about some of the problems and challenges that come up for the priests when they're trying to do these every day, all the time, to help the children of Israel out.